Okay, so today we're taking a look at the wireless 5.8 gigahertz module. In fact, what you see here is 3 modules already packed and tested, and this is the traditional wireless set that you can also find for sale on my items. Now, as you can see, these units are both 200 milliwatt output power, so they have the same power output, both of them. And obviously this is the kit. It comes with a receiver as well. This receiver here is standard, so this receiver will work just fine with any of the modules. So this is the actual module with the wires. Also, what you see here is 4 different antennas, omnidirectional antennas with different gains. This is a standard 3.5 dB gain. This is a 4.5 dB gain. You have a 6, 6.5, and finally here you have what the manufacturer claims to be a 9 dB gain, which is probably more like it, like a 7.5. So this particular kit comes standard with this antenna. Also, you will notice that the connectors that are used for it are standard LiPo battery connectors, which is another thing that we'll see. So basically, one side of it has, as you can see in the back, all the signals are labeled in the back for each one of the pins. It's all ready to go, but you can look at it. One side you have the antenna and the channel selection connectors. If we look at the back, we're going to talk about the right side of it, which is basically where our video, audio signals and power are going in. This side here, we'll talk about the channel selection. If you take a look at the 5-pin connector that comes with it, just basically goes right in. You snap it right in, and you have your wires ready, just like you have in this unit, which basically comes with a different kind of connector. So same signals are in both on both sets. So one of the things that I brought is a standard mini camera, which is also sold in one of the kits. So basically what the package for this particular item comes with is right here, the antenna, the module with the connectors. And what I have here is basically the power. I've made several cables, but the simple one, as you will see, is the male connector for a LiPo battery, which will give us the way to power the unit. In this particular case, what I'm using is standard connector that comes with a lot of items, really, for a JST type of connection. So if we take a look at just a standard 2S battery, what I can do, and this is applicable with any of the LiPo batteries, is I can power the camera directly from the output of the 2S or 3S, whichever ones you decide to use. For the 2S, basically what I do is I'll connect the camera, I'll power it, and what I do is for the module, as I showed you here, I've already prepared a simple cable, which is, again, all I do is if it's a 2S or even a 5S LiPo, it doesn't really matter. So I only use 2 connectors. That way I get 4 volts, 1 cell, out of the balance connector. So looking at it, my camera is being powered directly from the battery, and the power to the module is being applied directly from the balance connectors, so that never power the module without the antenna. That's any wireless module rule, golden rule that you need to make sure. So basically this would be powering my module and my camera at the same time. So right now, if I look at the module from the back and the connectors, it's transmitted right now, it's powered, so is my camera. Obviously the video signal, what you see here, is not connected, and that you can probably, depending on the camera you're using, basically that's what really matters, is you can use, for example, I made this one out of standard servo connector with 2 Radio Shack plugs. So if I look at the module, the signals as we see them is video, audio, ground, power positive, and power ground. So video, audio, it's the red one I'm using. Don't be misled by the colors. So basically, this would give me the video, audio, and ground that I need for the signal. And for example, I've made same thing with simple connector. So you really don't even have to use this one. You could go directly and power with anything pretty much that will take the pin connectors. So anyway, as I mentioned, included is the standard connector. And what I wanted to point out particularly is how to power the unit from the balance connector. So very simply, if you look at, this is a 3S, if you look at the balance connectors right in your LiPo battery, you will see most manufacturers follow standard, where the black is the ground and then the number of cells that you may have. This is a 2S, so it's ground, 1 cell, and the second cell. The same with the 3S, is ground and then the 3 cells. So all I need to tap into is the ground, which is the first pin, and then the second pin. So as you can see, basically that's what I did here, is ground and the positive of the first cell. So this will give me 4 volts on a fully charged LiPo, and I can still power my camera from the same battery, whether I use the main airplane battery or I have a second battery to power both of the equipment, or even farther in is the OSD equipment that I might want to use. I can power all 3 systems from one single battery using the balance connector for this particular one. So again, there's 2 big differences between the 2 modules. This one obviously comes more prepared. This is more of a module for advanced users, but it does give advantages. One is the flexibility of mounting the module with the antenna pigtail, which is pretty sturdy actually. So sometimes when you use high gain antennas also, it makes it easy. Second one is really the weight. Obviously, on some applications the weight is very critical, and there's a big difference, as you can see, between the 2 of them. And so in weight, this is a 6-gram module and this is a 30-gram module right here. So one of the things that this one comes with a heat sink and this one does not. And again, just point out that the main difference between these 2 is the power regulator that it uses. This one will have a camera output to power your camera as well from this side. This is the input for the main battery. There are 12 volts from 7 to 12 volts, so you can also power this one. Will power from 7 to 12 volts, and that's a main advantage because it has all the circuits for the regulation, and also will power your camera, as opposed to this one that does not. This one will take a maximum of 5 volts. Recommended is 1S, and as I showed you, it's easy to power the camera from the same battery. It's not a big issue. In fact, the one thing that I need to point out is that this is a 200 milliwatt output running at 3.5 volts nominal, which means that if you power this from 4 volts, it will be putting out even more. So in fact, if you do a range test between the 2 units, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, is that this unit does have actually more range. The other difference is that when you power 4 or even 5 volts, you will get more power, but the module does get hot. So one of the things that it's mentioned in the manual is that if you don't install this in a well ventilated area, you should use a heatsink. Any standard heatsink, you can buy one at Radio Shack for about $2. In fact, I think in the ad it mentions the model number to look it up. So if you do plan to use it for extended periods of time inside the aircraft where it's closed and there's no ventilation, highly recommend you use a heatsink for the module, or you can place it outside. I've done that and it works rather well. So those are the main differences. So just to summarize, these smaller modules do give better range. One other thing that I need to point out, that I need to talk about, is how you do the channel selection from this side, and it's rather simple. As you can see, the ground signal is labeled as the first pin of the channel selection, and all you have to do is tie two wires together. So you splice them together, 1, 2, or 3 wires. So that way you do the channel selection. And the manual explains as well that if you tie this wire here, the first wire on this side, to any of the 3, you do the combinations for the channel selection. You can put a switch, a dip switch, if you wanted to do something a little bit fancier, but just simply just twist the wires together, and that'll create your channel selection. Again, the video signals out of this side, power for the main module, channel selection, and the antenna. Those are the main difference between the two of them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the video.